telling you, sometimes you just got to listen. There's a child in every home and every community. They will grow up to be symbols of unity. They'll be colorblind to race and ethnicity. That's the vision of a leader like President Irfan Ali. I'm talking about the one Guyana where our people can live in peace, where every race trusts each other, where racial prejudice no longer exists. Our children will have one Guyana to grow up in a land united and free with equality and blessed with prosperity. For too long we've been fighting one another. It's race against race, but in the end the country suffer. Oh, we were born here, not in India nor Africa. But if we can't get along, the foreigners gon' eat we suffer. We must put an end to racism. Let it end now with this generation. Together we'll develop this nation. Make Guyana the gem of the Caribbean. Don't listen to them wicked politicians who will divide us to win an election. Believe it or not, Guyanese no smarter than that. Yeah, I told you, it's your boy Padmore. Unity is the key. We are all one and we should be treated as one. Our ancestors were slaves and laborers, but the life they endured made it better for us. We honor their sacrifice and the freedom they bought for we. But some descendants of slaves use that to fuel the rich. It doesn't matter what's your skin color, when we bleed blood it's red the same. Let's respect and love one another. When a brother cry we must feel the pain. We're Portuguese, African and Indian. We're Chinese mixed up, we're Amerindians. We're all Guyanese. Let's end this segregation. I'm appealing to Guyanese in the diaspora. We welcome you home. We've got a lot to offer. It's not the same place that you run away from. Come see the paradise Guyana has now become. I'm talking about the one Guyana where our people can live in peace, where every race trusts each other, where racial prejudice no longer exists. Our children will have one Guyana to grow up in a land united and free with equality and blessed with prosperity. It's a message I just want you to understand. Stop and think for a minute. Really think for a minute. If we can't fix the present, then we should work on the future. You gon' vex, but I tell you, sometimes you just got to listen. There's a child in every home and every community. They will grow up to be symbols of unity. They'll be colorblind to race and ethnicity. That's the vision of a leader like President Irfan Ali. I'm talking about the one Guyana where our people can live in peace, where every race trusts each other, where racial prejudice no longer exists. Our children will have one Guyana to grow up in a land united and free with equality and blessed with prosperity. For too long we've been fighting one another. It's race against race, but in the end the country suffer. Oh, we were born here, not in India nor Africa. But if we can't get along, the foreigners gon' eat we suffer. We must put an end to racism. Let it end now with this generation. Together we'll develop this nation. Make Guyana the gem of the Caribbean. Don't listen to them wicked politicians who will divide us to win an election. Believe it or not, Guyanese no smarter than that. Yeah, I told you, it's your boy Padmore. Unity is the key. We are all one and we should be treated as one. Our ancestors were slaves and laborers, but the life they endured made it better for us. We honor their sacrifice and the freedom they bought for we. But some descendants of slaves use that to fuel the rich. It doesn't matter what's your skin color, when we bleed blood it's red the same. Let's respect and love one another. When a brother cry we must feel the pain. We're Portuguese, African.
The voice of Akeem Padmore Evans, one of our local artists, and that was the One Guyana Calypso tribute. Morning, guys. Good morning to you. Welcome down to Livewire. It's the 17th of January, 2024, and we're rolling through. We already halfway through January, rolling into February. We had our budget presented on Monday. The debate will commence from the 21st. No, the 22nd. The 22nd of January. The debates will commence where the government will defend their allocations and yes, so government will be defending the allocations made. So anybody want a cat? Anybody want a cat? This is ridiculous now. This guy out hard though. But anyway, right. So Monday, Monday, the government will be defending the allocations made to the various ministries and agencies. And we will hear from the opposition their take on what they see in budget 2024. I am personally excited to hear their take on it, because as you know, we've had several budgets from the then government, APNU AFC, and those budgets brought nothing but hardship onto the people of Guyana, and more so with taxes, a lot of taxes. And yesterday, I spoke of the increase that public servants got under the coalition. But I also spoke of the increase in over 200 taxes, VAT on electronics, water, electricity, data connection. So all the money that you got extra went right back out of the window to pay more for your driver's license fees, more for all more for licensing fees in general, right? You paid the, you paid more for licensing fees. You had no sort of plan to cushion whatever impacts were hitting Guyana at the time in relation to COVID-19 and things related to that. So even the $25,000 that persons got per household was not an initiative that was put forward by the AP and UAFC. So if you understand me clearly, the government had to come in, right, and set up that initiative. I see Miss Stephanie Nelson Moore on the live. I'm wondering if I could send her a link and she could tell us a little bit about the walkabout or the meeting that they had in Mocha there with Minister Indar and Minister McCoy, meeting with the youths there in Mocha, Arcadia. Also on the program this morning, we start yet. We're still in the preliminary stage, the preliminary stages. We're going to be having Councillor Diarmas to give his take on budget 2024, and he'll be sharing with us. He'll be on around 8:30. So I'm waiting to hear a response from the councillor there in Mocha. Okay, great. So let me send her a link and bring her in on this live for her to give us a quick update on that meeting yesterday. So, Councillor, you click the link, type in your name, and click Enter Studio, and you'll be in. So she has the link here. So whilst we wait for the councillor to get in, a couple of things I want to share with you. I'll allow Councillor Diarmas to expound on the live on the budget 2024. I want to take you out to Region 2, Essequibo. Remember Essequibo's we own. Hope y'all didn't forget. Essequibo's we own. So let me take you to Region 2 and let you know what's happening up there. Now, in relation to Region 2, currently under construction is the Lima Regional Hospital in Region 2. Currently, contractors are constructing the foundation of the building and will begin the framing very soon. The hospital, which will serve to revolutionize the healthcare system there on the Essequibo coast, is scheduled to be completed by the end of 2024. So Region 2, that Essequibo area there, will have a new regional health facility to cater to the population in that area, right? And this here is just one of the hospitals that will be coming online, along with the one at New Amsterdam, the one at Diamond. And I mean, we've heard the allocations for the health sector. And this can only augur well for healthcare and the longevity of persons' lives in this country, right? Government is investing heavily in healthcare. Now, before Shane logging yet, we waiting on the councillor still. Now, before Councillor Diarmas gets here, and before I get into this, I don't know what's going on with me this morning. Morning to everybody joining us on the live. I'm sorry not to recognize y'all. Y'all are very important. So I want to say a special good morning to Wazim, Chris, Joe Nabijan. A special good morning to Eunice Ragobir joining us from Canada, along with Joe. Omar Sharif joining us from New York City. Veena Ram Karan, Cecil Ram Prasad, Derek Drupal, Mohammed Yusuf, Sherwin Siram, Dial Sukram, Taris O'Brien, Pam Singh, Jamila Kayum, Ru Garib. I hope I'm saying that correct. Reynard Sobers, Lynette Cornelius, Soma Bipath, Arjun, Carla Thomas, um, Jasmine Baldio, Richard Stanislas, Zaza Ali. Good morning and welcome back. I ain't seen in a couple of days. Alonzo Jardine, Jasmine Baldio, Desiree Biong, Leah Mohammed, Jane. What's going on in St. Martin? Pushram Kishore, Mukesh Vishnudat, Paul Joseph, Juraj Nath, Danita Rupnarain, Datananda Lal, Paula Spencer, Vishram Patrick. Morning to all you guys. Thank you for the continued support. A special big up to Miss Marisha Sami for giving me that little endorsement in the video. Guys, I'm really happy and glad for the support I get from you guys right here in Guyana and across the diaspora. Toshi Ram Chetty, special good morning to you. Neil Ramlokan joining us from NYC. Rocky. Okay, that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. Vera and Hill. Sally Jones. Rose. Morning. Right. So, this is the facility at Lima Sands. And just in case I want to show the signboard only and nothing is happening, this is the foundation going down for that regional hospital there in Lima Sands Region 2, where the government has invested heavily to ensure, a city council almost in. What? Great. The council is here. So let's get it. Let's kick it off. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are
Good
you?
morning. Good morning to you and your viewers. I am okay.
Great. It's wonderful to have you and on us on such short notice. I'm glad you could take some time to talk to the people. Now, you had two ministers in your area yesterday, Minister McCoy, Minister Inder. I don't know if they had any others. I wasn't at the event. Tell us a little bit about what went on and the reception they got, and what is on the cards for the youth of Mocha.
All right. Yes, we had more than one ministers actually. We had Minister Sonia Parag, and she is the minister in charge of Mocha, and she does not miss any chance of coming into this village to speak to the people
Right.
here. Now, the visit from the ministers, that was a commitment made by the president who visited the community on Thursday. He
Wow.
came, he spoke to the
Wait,
farmers.
Counselor, stop. Counselor, stop. So you telling me the head of state was in Mocha, and
Yes.
then you had several ministers within the space of a week?
Well, not just the head of state was in Mocha, he also brought ministers with him. He brought Minister
Wow.
of Agriculture, Minister
Wow.
Zulfikar Mustafa. He brought Minister Indar with him. He brought
Mm,
Minister Kwame with him. He brought Minister Bharat. Because in
wow.
the manifesto, we are looking, the People's Progressive Party, we are catering for every Guyanese. We're not just looking for the people who support us, but the people everywhere in this country. So
Right.
he made a commitment that he will come into this community, speak to everyone, listen to the people. We want
Mm,
to speak directly to the people, hear what the people they have to say. So he
right.
came Thursday. They met with some farmers. He made a commitment to come back into the community, and he sent some ministers for now, and
Right.
they interacted with the youths of the community. We have Minister Indar there. We have Minister Kwame there. Minister Sonia was also there. They were looking after scholarships. Anybody wanted scholarship, you can get the help on spot.
Mm,
Anybody is unemployed and need help in getting jobs, they were willing to help. They're willing to help the youths. You're playing cricket, football, you want gears for that, they are willing to
yes.
help you
Yes.
with that. They looked after a person's personal issue. And I
Mm,
remember yesterday, I even have a message in my phone when the prime minister, sorry, the president was in here Thursday. A girl, she brought up a personal issue, and within 4 days she got a response from the ministers.
mm,
So what I like about my party, what I like about the People's Progressive Party, we are not just here about talking, we here about action. We have a manifesto and we will fulfill that manifesto. We are not just here about sharing dreams or vision. Yes, we do have a vision, but we are also working for each
right,
and everyone in Guyana.
right. Now, Counselor, now you are the Lone Ranger on the NDC,
Yes,
right? And you can safely say that you have brought about more change than the entire NDC and all the councillors on the other side, because you have concrete roads being done in your community. The
yes,
farming area, Minister Zulfikar through the NDIA have done works on those drains and show those people area in flood out. You understand me?
correct,
And these
correct.
things are the responsibility and the purview of the Mocha Arcadia NDC.
Yes, they
Now,
are, but
I want to touch quickly on this video. They had a video circulating where a young man was speaking to a road that is currently under construction or about
yes,
almost complete
yeah.
concrete road. Before we get to that, his synopsis of the current state of the road. Could you tell me what that road used to look like before the concrete surface was put there?
Cordell, I want to say that Mocha is predominantly PNC. However, persons are waking up to reality, persons are seeing what is happening, and persons are supporting what they are seeing.
Mm,
During the APNU time, I think only one street was done in this community. That road, I would say it was like high tide. If you're pregnant and you want to drive through that road, you just might, your water bag might just burst right there and then.
that's
Now the
serious.
PPP, that's serious. Now the People's Progressive Party is in power. They made a commitment to do the roads in Moko. Currently, all of the streets in Almera Housing Scheme, all of the streets are doing, all of them. So
Wow.
the video that is circulating, my view on that is why wait until the work is completed and then criticize it? Why not, when the work is in progress, you go and you check, you ensure that whatever the BOQ has, it's being
Mm,
followed. Why wait
right.
until the work is completed, then you go and you video and you put it up on the Facebook page? Everyone has a
Yeah. Yeah.
responsibility to check the BOQ that was posted there and ensure that the contractors, they are working with that. Was that
Yeah.
done? Because if it was done, I don't think you would have the reason to criticize the work when it is completed. It's a waste of taxpayers' money if you say that it's substandard work. It's a waste of taxpayers' money and it's a
Mm,
waste of time, because if you were checking the work all the time and it was up to standard, the road would have been completed and everyone would be free to use the road. But if you're saying that more work needs to be done on that road, then it's a waste of taxpayers' money to go and do over work. Next is a waste of time. In addition to that, we all know that concrete does not dry in a day or two,
mm.
especially at a time like this where we have a lot of rainfall. How do you expect the concrete to dry within a day? Instead of criticizing the work, why not talk to the contractor and let the contractor explain to you what really is happening? So
Right.
I had an issue with that.
Yeah. 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 No, no, budget 2024 was read. I don't know how much of it you were privy to, but could you give me your thoughts on where do you see Guyana going? And in terms of, oh gosh, I keep forgetting this thing and it's bad. Sorry. Oh Jesus. In the theme. Oh my goodness. Let me get it. I got it right here. Got it right here. Staying the course. Staying the course, ensuring prosperity for all. What do you think about budget 2024?
Well, for budget 2024, I am pleased with what came out from that budget. I
Mm,
am an agricultural science teacher, and
mm,
especially for the agricultural science field, I am seeing major improvement in that field. Not just that, yes, infrastructure and every other area. Now,
mm,
speaking about the agriculture sector, I was teaching the children about food security. And in 2015, between 2015, 2017 to 2019, I realized when you check the data, you realize that for the agricultural sector, it was doing poorly for
mm,
those years. It declined, the export declined in the agricultural sector for those years. So after that, yes, it went up, and I know that the minister and the government is working hard for it
mm,
to continue to grow. Now, at this time, we have farmers who are exposed to more. They're exposed to more materials from the Ministry of Agriculture. They're exposed to finance to
right,
do their work. They're being guided. They have their
right.
extension officers. They have officers at NARI that they can call anytime, and they seek advice from them and get it. So for
Yeah,
budget
yeah,
2024, I see major improvement. I see that the government has made a commitment to work with the people and to have the vision 25 by 2025, and they are working towards that. I
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
You know, counselor, you like your counterparts or comrades at City Hall, your comrades in the town council in New Amsterdam, town council in Linden, the town council in Bartica. All of you have been working even harder than the foresters who have been elected to actually do the job. Technically, you
Yes,
are in opposition at the NDC of Mocha. Technically, you are in opposition at the NDC of Mocha. And as a
yes.
representative of a small group of, what's called you, Mokians or how you call it, how you say it, Mocha people. Out of the small group of Mocha people that vote for you, the majority, the entire community is benefiting from your efforts and your representation at the central government level. Because even if you remember, there was a recent meeting at this primary school in Mucka there. I can't remember the name. I don't know if it's the Mucka Primary School, where they did the ground and the
Yes,
ball field, right? The
the primary
counselors,
school.
right? The counselors did that, the ground and the ball field. I remember Minister McCoy, Minister Edgil, Minister Prague, Minister Zulfikar, they were there. And a farmer came and he said, man, just to get the trailer to move a little, or these people want a set of money. You understand me? And I doubt that that money is going to the NDC to go back into the community of Moko. So hats off to you in relation to all that work you've gotten done in that community. And for the
Thank you.
record, I want to highlight the councillor spoke of one road that the coalition did during their time. I want to make it pellucidly clear that that was not Bornum Boulevard, that's in Moko.
No,
The
no,
president go and fix the road name after their founding leader. They didn't even want to do that. That's to show you.
that is
And
true.
remember, Moko voting for them year upon year upon year upon year, election on election in election. Sad
Yeah.
situation. Continue to do your job and continue to make the impact you've been making.
Cordell, before I leave, I would like to highlight one more thing for you. Just one more.
Mm,
Now I see the opposition, they're ranting about the Caneview persons, the persons who were living in the Caneview, and
mm,
the ministry would have removed. Now that is something big for them. January they come and they celebrate there, just trying to remind persons history classes. But the thing about it, those people were there for quite a while. The Granger administration came into the community during their campaign and said they will legalize there. They will give the people
mm,
paper for their vote for them.
right.
So yes, some people vote for them, but after that, the Granger administration stated clearly that they have no power to grant permission for them to stay there. So now the People's Progressive Party came, offered
Hey,
them house lots,
yeah.
offer them money to do their house. If their houses are
Transportation
not
more
completed,
thing.
more money they got. Persons are contented with what they got. Some persons even got to fence their yard, the housing sense and to build up the yard. But yet still the opposition is ranting that the people were treated they were treated poorly. But
Mm,
they what did they actually do for Moko? I would say nothing. So, whatever this administration is doing for this community, they have no other choice but to criticize what they are seeing in every and any direction they can find.
Counselor, your your counter the just a second. Victor, let me call you back. I like. Yeah. Your I don't even want to say colleague or oh, I don't even know what to call her. The worries you got in there for MP. You
I
understand
know.
me?
Yes.
No track record. What has she done for that community? What impact she make on the community? You understand? Who
No.
knew of a name of flu best? Who knew of a name of flu best before her entering the National Assembly? And what can we say if we put you, counselor, um, on a scale to measure the impact to Maconians? I can call them Maconians. The impact. I mean, come on, come on. Anyway, thank you for being on the program this morning at such short notice. I see I have Councillor Diarmas, your counterpart from City Hall, signed in the back room. Have a wonderful day. Continue doing the
You
good work
too.
in the area.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, take care. So that was Councillor Stephanie Nelson from the Mocha Arcadia NDC. And right about now, we're going to have a popular guy. He's popular man. He's well known around the town to have trounced the sitting mayor, Mayor Mentor, and he is now representing on the Georgetown City Council, Councillor Alfonso Diarmas. Good morning to you. You're mute and welcome to the program.
Hey, morning, Courdel. Thank you for having me.
What a caught you in traffic, and that's to show y'all on this live how these PPP councillors operate. Finding the time to inform the nation and share information whilst getting whatever they need to do done. So we don't complain. We got too much things to do. It's all about getting the work done. Good morning again to you, Councillor. Welcome to the program. Let's jump right into it. I saw you at the presentation of Budget 2024. Briefly, give us a synopsis of your thoughts on what you heard.
So, without getting into the numbers, um, what I heard was a well thought out budget, a well
Mm,
thought out policy wise, for two reasons. One, it didn't lose track of taking care of the vulnerable in our country, but
mm,
it also I can clearly see that the goal isn't to subsidize living or people's lives through government handouts, but to make
right.
their lives better by giving people the opportunity to create their own wealth so that they can live fulfilling lives, whether or not without having to depend on the whims of politicians. So that
Right.
that's the overall theme, the overarching policy work of what the budget aims to achieve.
Right. No, we had several increases to some of the tax threshold was increased. There was an increase in old age pension, an increase in public assistance. There was an increase in the education grant. Um, 1.8 billion to support eye care for school children, senior citizens, 2.8 billion for cervical cancer testing, the removal of VAT on firefighting equipment, increase in the NIS pension for the survivors and in general, the minimum NIS pension. Um, I've heard persons saying there's nothing for the small man, there's nothing trickling down back to the small man. We've even heard about a $7 billion that has been set aside to cushion the impact of inflation and these high prices that persons are seeing on the market. Do you think these are geared at the small man, or was just the minister putting some things in there? Are these going to trickle down to the small man?
No, of course they're going to trickle down to the small man, um, but they need to be they need to be implemented thoughtfully and with a lot of wisdom.
Mm,
Intention alone, like judging a government policy by its intention isn't enough, right? Um, the outcome is what matters.
right.
And if what the outcome does is to get uh, people addicted to government largesse, I don't
Mm,
think it's a good policy. It wouldn't be a good policy.
mm,
Um,
mm,
Now, obviously, it's understood that the vulnerable and people in our society, it's important that people have equal opportunity to be successful. That's why
mm,
provisions like eye care exams, provisions like those, like the We Care, like the cash grants for children. Those things are important because it gives people in our society the opportunity to be successful, an opportunity
right.
that they must grab. They must make the decision themselves to grab. Um, and that's why it's so important. These equal opportunity to succeed is important. But
Yeah.
if we're looking for government to assure equality of outcome where everybody is on the same page, I don't think that's the focus of this budget because people make different choices. People can choose to take that cash grant, for example, and go and party at on the line top or at Palm Court, or while others can choose to take that same cash grant and buy school supplies for their children, right?
Right. Right. No, the budget. We've heard the national budget. What is the position with the council budget? You heard anything about that?
Well, all I can say is that according to the law, the estimates for revenues and expenditures ought to have been presented to the council by November 15th last year. It's January 17th,
Yeah.
2024, and we haven't heard anything about the budget for city council yet. Now, mind you,
Wow.
despite no budget, we've made some very important decisions that I sought to have explained at the level of city council. So the mayor mentor assured us, for example, that the city could afford the 6.5 a 6.5 retroactive increase, as well as a $25,000 one-off bonus. Of course, in earlier meetings, the finance subcommittee of the city council had agreed on 5%,
Right.
and I'm not sure if that was meant to be retroactive. However, we were assured by the mayor, and of course, taking his assurances on board, we supported it 1,000% that the 6.5% the city could afford. But we still don't know because a budget has not been presented. I think the intention is to present the budget by the end of the first quarter of this year, and so that it wouldn't be approved until after the first quarter.
Right.
I don't think that's good enough.
Finally, Councillor, with what you've seen in the budget, the trajectory that Guyana is on, the development, the expansion, the investment in our traditional sectors, as well as ensuring Guyanese benefit from the oil and gas sector. Do you think this trajectory that we're on, do you think we'll be staying the course with this budget presentation 2024 into 2025?
Of course, and I just want to say, uh, that I've seen a lot of detractors talking about the Dutch disease. I mean, I don't think I've heard them recently, because we've seen the non-oil economy grow by 11% last year, which,
Yeah,
if there were Dutch disease, then that wouldn't happen, right? We've seen the non-oil economy grow by 11%. I saw that the opposition heckled that at the budget presentation, saying that it's because of oil. Well, yes, it's because of oil. That's the whole point. You're blessed with oil with oil reserves, and so you use that to invest in other areas of your country. That's the whole point. And I think
right.
that policy wise, this administration has done quite well, and it's evidenced. That these aren't jiggery pooggery numbers that they've made up out of nowhere. These are all backed up. I think the World Bank and the IDB have published similar, and the IMF have published similar numbers.
Right.
The non-oil economy has grown by 11%, and it will continue to grow, thanks to policies like the local content legislation that was passed by this administration. Thanks to
Yeah.
things like, even simple things like working with commercial banks to lower interest
Yeah.
rates for low-income
On 5 million.
borrowers.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, those are, and we saw the government do this last year as well, working to lower interest rates for poultry farmers, right? um, with poultry farmers, also working with commercial banks to lower the collateral requirements for first-time low-income home buyers. These are all things that have tremendous impacts on our economy and its potential to
Right.
grow. Now,
Mm, mm, mm.
it's not a quick fix. These things take time their benefits, their impacts take time for them to materialize on our economy. Something that the opposition, I don't think, quite understand. They'd rather just give people a bunch of money and take the easy political wins, but that is a surefire way to destroy an economy and to destroy a country.
Yeah. 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 Councillor, thank you for taking some time to join us and giving us your take on the budget and letting us know that, hey, probably the first quarter to the end, we'll have the council's budget and figure out if the council will finally, I don't know where to go find the money from that the mayor say I got. Because according to Mr. Singh, Councillor Singh, that's not the case, money in there. But hopefully he knows where he's going to pull it from.
Oh yes,
That is,
I take the mayor at his word.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead, Courdel.
Yeah. So I'm hoping he knows where he's gonna find it and make it available so that you guys can actually function properly, get things done in your area. Finally, I wanted to touch on the income tax threshold. Now, you're a businessman and you would understand a little better than the layman the kind of impact that would have. Now, persons were complaining a lot about the 6.5. It is my view that the 6.5 is now going a little longer way with the threshold raise. Is that so, or am I wrong?
Yes. So if the 6.5% increase took you, let's say that you were making, I don't know, I'm just using sample numbers. If you're making $70,000 and it took you to the previous threshold of, I think the previous threshold was 85,000. Don't quote me on that. But if it took you past it, then you would be paying taxes on that 85,000 that
Yeah, yeah,
that you were given, that you got as a result of the increase. Now, with the threshold having been raised, then that part now becomes tax free. I saw that as a result of the raising the threshold, about 13,000 people now don't pay income taxes.
correct.
That's huge. That's more money that they have in their pockets to support their local communities, to support their children's education,
Right.
to renovate their own home, to even pay now towards a mortgage.
Yeah, yeah. We have that increase, and also we have no new taxes.
Well, we know how much the previous guys love the tax.
Indeed, indeed. Anyway, Counselor, thank you for coming through. Get to work safely. Thank God you got a driver. And I'll see you at the next City Hall statutory as we continue to inform the persons of what's happening at City Hall and how they are functioning and how the citizens of the capital city are being served. Thank you for your time this morning, Counselor. Have a great day.
Thanks, Courdel. You too.
Right. So that uh, two counselors there for you, one from City Hall and one from the Mocha Arcadia NDC, sharing their views on what is actually happening at the council levels, and also some thoughts on budget 2024 and the impact that it will have on the, the country of Guyana, right? Um, what else we got here? So coming after that a little bit, we have Mr. Hear me, Mr. Sorry, Dr. Van West Charles. Dr. Van West Charles, the ambassador of Guyana to Venezuela. Dr. Van West Charles met with His Excellency President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali yesterday, and he will be making his way to Caracas later this week to take up the post as Guyana's ambassador to Venezuela, right? During this meeting, the president emphasized the significance of the position, and he expressed his expectations of Dr. Charles whilst performing. Um, he's expecting Dr. Charles to perform excellently in his new role. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So that was Dr. Van West Charles, and I'm assuming that's his wife, meeting with President Ali on in relation to his new appointment as the Guyana ambassador to Venezuela, and he will be taking up his office in Caracas shortly, right? Lash, you late. When you're late, you just sneak in and just comment like you're there all the time. You don't come this hour and announce your lateness. That mistake is getting knocked off at work. What's wrong with you, sir? You sneak in and you be quiet. Morning to you, Lash PA. Great to have you here, brother. What else is going on? I had something else to share with you. Wait, man. Jillian Lewis saying that that's Burnham data, or no, she asking. I don't know, Jillian. I don't know if that's Burnham's daughter. I do not know. Anyway, back to budget 2024. So I was just discussing with Council the Armas some of the increases that the government has made in the budget, which is the country's largest fiscal package, fully financed with no new taxes, massive funds revealed for continued economic and infrastructural development, and a slew of initiatives outlined to provide disposable income to support vulnerable groups. Now, let's look at some of the key measures included in the budget. Now, the increase again of the income tax threshold from 85,000 to 100,000, the increase in old age pension from 33,000 to 36,000, the increase in public assistance from 16,000 to 19,000, the increase in education cash grant from to 45,000. There is 1.8 billion to support eye care for school children and senior citizens, 2.8 billion for cervical cancer testing for women aged 21 to 65, the removal of duty and VAT on firefighting equipment. So what government has done, especially with this removal of VAT on firefighting equipment, these extinguishers and those things that you can have in your home to you could say, well, have first aid in terms of a fire before the fire service gets there. It's going to be made cheaper, so more persons will be able to have those in their homes. So at the end of the day, you have less persons losing their entire house and being displaced by fire. increase in minimum NIS pension to 43,000, increase in NIS survivors pension to $21,573, the removal of VAT and duty on essential cell phone accessories, along with cell phone components for repair, right? The increase in provisions for part-time jobs initiatives to $10 billion. Now, some of these sectorial allocations, Gaisuko got $6 billion, 97.6 billion to advance and catalyze agricultural development, 10.3 billion to continue construction of the world-class pediatric and maternal hospital at Ogle, 28.7 billion for the construction, rehabilitation, maintenance of school buildings and educational facilities, 15.5 billion to continue the construction and advancement of 6 regional hospitals at Bath, the Kendron, Diamond, Enmore, Lima, which I just showed y'all, and number 75 Village. 204.1 billion to upgrade and expand all roads and bridge networks. So imagine what y'all see last year. Imagine what's gonna happen this year in terms of roads, right? 78 billion to further develop housing infrastructure countrywide. 48.3 billion for women, children, and the elderly people with disabilities. Marcia Nicole Smith, y'all get a thing. What else is there? There will be 9 billion to support Amerindian and hinterland development programs, including the carbon credits. 22.5 billion to improve water quality and supply systems across the country. 800 million for Amerindian land titling. 1.1 billion to advance youth development initiatives. Over 97.6 billion set aside in budget 2024 for agricultural initiatives. 450 million for small business funding. 331 million for the Small Business Bureau. The security sector received a landmark. You hear me? Landmark. Not drones, but a landmark. 90.6 billion boost through budget 2024, right? So clearly we could see the government is interested in development. The government is Tracy Martindale, you see you who can't respond to me yet? Tracy Martindale from Bartica. You see you who can't respond to me yet? All right. But we see the government investing in things that will ensure Guyana is on the right track to support the development that is happening, to support the youths that are coming up, to support the elderly, to support the disabled, to support persons who have terminal illnesses. You have support for single parents, parents who together, public school, private school, healthcare, tourism, infrastructure, education, agriculture, all over. Right? All over you're getting the support. But you will hear next week Monday the fancy calculations of the opposition. Right? Let's look at this here. So I came across this flyer, or I don't know what it is, where it be. Now I come across it. Now this is what the opposition has to offer to Guyanese people. They would not have come up with a budget like Minister Singh and his team to move the Guyanese people forward. It's all doom and gloom across this country. And what irks me about the opposition, they often tend to want to do things. Let me make this a PDF. They often tend to want to do or say things that they themselves were unable to do whilst they were in government. So they got a lot of requirements of this administration. But whilst they were in government, Nothing of the sort they decided to put in place, right? They decided to give an increase and raise 200 taxes, right? They decided to build a set of chicken coops that Aubrey Norton didn't even know that is he people built. And while talking so long, I'm trying to get this thing to PDF so it don't block me. But you understand me? They have requirements that they themselves are unable to fulfill. Let me take you through what I am talking about, right? So, it's uploading. Give me 2 seconds. Processing now. Done process. Good. So this here is something I came across. I think it's on the PNC page. You understand? Can't listen to them talking. But if I scroll through and read, sometimes I could process what they say. But when they're talking, like, oh God, I can't help myself. It's get sick. Right. So they are asking persons to join a rally against the high cost of living. You understand me? Join a rally against the high cost of living at Barnum Court that the PPP government had to fix up so they could keep rally there. And that is an important thing for you to remember. Again, as I just highlighted with Councillor Nelson, Barnum Boulevard in Mocha was not the one road that the PNC decided to do in Mocha when they were in power. President Ali, through the Ministry of Public Works, Minister Edgel and Minister Indar are the ones who would have facilitated that. Barnum Boulevard, Barnum Avenue in Linden. No, they won't do that neither. PPP do that. Barnum Court in Tongue. No, the PPP do that again. Right? So their own leader, founding leader, they don't even want to ensure that the things that bear his name, whilst they have an opportunity to ensure that these things are upkept and, you know, people could see, well, yeah, Barnum stuff doing well. Nothing. They didn't even make an attempt to resurface the Linden Highway that they're claiming on the Barnum so much, right? Now, let's look at these points that they were putting forward. And I want to show y'all how retarded these people retarded. Now, they're asking for a cost of living allowance for all workers, right? A cost of living allowance for all workers because of the high cost of living. I'm asking you all here now, during COVID-19, when people are losing their work, not just high cost of living, they were losing their jobs. Sugar workers, gold miners, lumberers, people working in forestry, people walking down Region Street, all them shops closing down and all them things. They had no idea about an allowance to people who lose their work, people who their home, they can't provide for the family, nothing. They had no idea of a living allowance for the people of Guyana or the workers of Guyana who are affected. No, after the government is putting so many systems in place, freezing freight costs, freezing zero rating fuel taxing costs, you know, go back to the demand at the pump. Because we care, all these grants assist people, assistance, all these grants. You want to have grant to the elderly, the dialysis money, the money to the persons with special needs, the 25,000 to every household, right? The reduction of taxes for everybody. Those are the initiatives this government they're implementing. But you know what the coalition do? Nothing. Raise the salary, enough taxes. COVID-19, you have to stay in your house. We ain't got no solution for you. Stay home. You understand? Close on Region Street, close on the market. People ain't got to eat. People ain't know what they're doing. Right? The second point, raise the income tax threshold to 150,000. Y'all had 5 years to do it. If y'all had raised it to 150,000 when you had the power, Irfan Ali would have raised it higher yesterday when Minister Singh announced. President Ali would have raised it higher when they would have worked together to raise it higher when Minister Singh made budget presentation 2024. Why couldn't you do it? Why are you now hopping on the backs of the PPP to say raise this 150,000? You had the opportunity, right? And mind you, not to say the PPP in raising it, it's at 100,000 now, right? It's at 100,000 now. So their idea or their plan is whatever the PPP do, whether they could have done it, didn't do it, they will object it and say it's not enough. When they didn't do anything of the sort when they had the chance. The third point, which I think is highly hypocritical, the reduction of VAT. These are the wretches that put 200 taxes on the people of Guyana, raise licensing fees, take away the free water from the elderly. You understand me? And they're talking about reduction in VAT. You're talking about a reduction in VAT? The removal of VAT from all locally manufactured food items. So what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say there? The government or the government shouldn't get VAT from local food items, only from the foreign ones? Or what, the value-added tax don't apply to local? I don't listen. I got left the one alone. The rationalization of the electricity and water rates. Who bring back the water rates on the elderly? It was subsidized by the government. What are you talking about? Right? What is there that needs to be rationalized about electricity? You understand why the electricity bill is currently the way it is. The cost of the fuel to generate it. It's just the other day we have received the generators to ensure that we have more generating capacity than is required. Now, why do we have to have more generating capacity than is required? Because Aubrey Norton, Amanza, Christopher Jones, Vince Roy Jordan, Sherwin Holder, Packer Dunces, the reason, right, that electricity cost is where it is now is because of the fuel that has to be purchased. We recently got generators, and we are now at a place where the government has created an enabling environment, right? An enabling environment. So as to nurture the development of businesses and encourage people to want to come back and invest in Guyana. So now, instead of a 3-story building, we got 12-story building. We got international hotels scattered around the city. Marriott, thing coming there on Rahab Street. They got one going up at Heroes Highway there, closer to Mandela. One going up at Ogle. I think the building one at the airport. Scattered around. You understand? So we got much more demand than we could have supplied before. But you see, a sensible government, sensible ministers, putting systems in place so that we can alleviate these problems. Now, what do we have? More generating capacity, a gas to shore project that will come on stream and lower electricity costs by half. We'll be able to sell cooking gas. So that means cooking gas, that's going to be lower too. And what does that mean to persons buying food, persons transporting? I don't think we're getting fuel. I don't think we're getting fuel. It's cooking gas and electricity. So with the electricity costs lowered, manufacturing costs will go down. You understand me? So persons who are now self-generating because of high electricity costs can now come on the grid. and lower their prices because it costs less for them to produce. But you will probably have some unscrupulous manufacturers who will still raise the prices nevertheless. And the government can still get blamed. Look at this other point. These are the things that make us want cost in an increase in the minimum wage by at least 50%. These wretches give themselves 50% and told the public servants, take whatever else we give you. They took 50% and could give it to the public servants, right? They were more important than the public servants that voted to put them in there. Now, something that they did not do, you rushing to tell this government, who doing so much more than you in all these sectors, that they need to do what you do for your ministers and not the people. Removal of personal income tax for low wage earners. This is the idiocy of this group. The threshold raise. 13,000 people start paying income tax. What's trouble? Look, listen. The stupidity of the opposition, especially people in the PNC, is beyond me. Unfathomable. You understand? Provide a generous risk allowance for frontline workers. Y'all didn't know that during COVID, one of them nurses and them thing. What? Look, listen, people, it's after 9. Y'all by heading out of here. The coalition, PNC, AFC, WPA, all of them are a waste of time. They're a waste of time. You understand? And the things that they are running to tell this government that they should do, they had an opportunity to do it for not even their people, not even the people who support them. They had an opportunity to do it for all Guyanese. And they did not. Listen, y'all have a good day. Tomorrow we will have Joel. Marisha Sammy, thank you for the shout out. I gotta work that into the Livewire video. I gotta do one again that I used to play before we start. I gotta work that in. Thank you for the endorsement. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys, Livewire family, you guys are the best. You're here every morning supporting me, and I appreciate it so much. Y'all wouldn't even understand how much I appreciate it, right? But y'all continue to be good Guyanese. Don't be led astray. Oh gosh, I can't go yet. Sorry. I didn't upload the pictures. No, I'm gonna deal with it tomorrow. They had a protest outside the GCOM. I don't know. Anthony Ryan joining us from Suriname. Morning to you, brother. Listen. And yes, Jillian Lewis. Let's see how big the crowd will be this Saturday. We can visit this rally. And Jillian Lewis, happy birthday to you. I hope you live to see many more. I hope you get plenty gifts and yo, listen, everybody in the comments, please say happy birthday to our Livewire family member, Jillian Lewis, who's celebrating her birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Jillian, and I hope you enjoy the festivities they have planned for you today. Right? Continue to be good Guyanese. Please be safe on the roadways out there. Look out for the kids on the road. School has restarted, and hey, we're heading into the debates. We're heading into debates for the budget 2024, and hopefully we'll have this budget passed soon, and the government can continue with the work that they have been doing to advance Guyana. Right? Take care. Be safe. It's all about peace, love, one Guyana.
What the life they endured made it better for us. We honor their sacrifice and the freedom they bought for we. But some descendants of slaves use that to fuel the rich. It doesn't matter what's your skin color. When we bleed blood, it's red the same. Let's respect and love one another. When a brother cry, we must feel the pain. We're Portuguese, African and Indian. We're Chinese mixed up, we're Amerindians. We're all Guyanese. Let's end this segregation. I'm appealing to Guyanese in the diaspora. We welcome you home. We've got a lot to offer. It's not the same place that you run away from. Come see the paradise Guyana has now become. I'm talking about the one Guyana where our people can live in peace, where every race trusts each other, where racial prejudice no longer exists. Our